as the degree of x. Vertical angles are the same. So because of that, we know that x is equal to y, which makes things easy because we can put that x is equal to 100 degrees. And our reasoning why is because they are vertical angles. Let me redo that. B, vertical maybe. I can get my T's right too. Vertical angle. So they're vertical angles. So we knew that because of the fact that they are vertical to each other. If one was here and one was here, they would be supplementary just like the last one. But these two are across from each other. So they're vertical, so they equal the same. So like I said, if you need to pause, go ahead. I'm going to give you guys just a second to write these last numbers down, and then I'm going to move on so this video doesn't exceed the time limit. So we are moving on, and on our next page and on your slides, it asks us to describe the angle relationships in the diagram below. Using the word bank to help, then write an equation to find the missing angle measures. So we're going to go through, we're going to figure out which of these is the best to put in these blanks. And so we're going to describe them using mathematical vocabulary and the correct ones. So I want you, even if I shorten the words, I would like for you to type in the whole word. You have them right here, so there's no reason you can't. Just for my end, it will be quicker just to write them shorter. It takes my pen a long time to register on my computer. So our first one for 3 here says angles F, B, and E are. So we've got angle F, angle B, and angle E, which looks very similar to the last one. And we said that those were or very similar to the first one, not the last one. But we said that those were adjacent. So that's because they are all beside each other on this line. They go across this line, which means all of these angles added together will equal 180 degrees. But they are across this line and they are adjacent. So we are going to cross out adjacent on here. And we are going to write that here. Okay, so we wrote adjacent there. And then our second one says angles that all add up to blank. So I just told you that because they are adjacent, they all run along this line right here. And we know a straight line equals 180 degrees. So these 3 angles, because they are adjacent to each other, will equal, when added together, 180 degrees. So we can cross that one out. Okay. And then triangle ABC is a or an blank triangle. So let's look at our triangle. We've got triangle ABC. So we've got 2 of the same degrees here. And here, so this is going to be that 180 degrees minus these 2 angles is going to equal angle B, because we know that a triangle has 180 degrees in it. So 180 degrees minus 45 times 2, because we have 2 of them, is 180 degrees minus 90 degrees, which gives us 90 degrees. but it's also a right triangle. So we just said that angle B here, right here, is 90 degrees because 180 minus 45 times 2 is 90. So we are going to write right here. So if you can see that, that definitely says right. Triangles and angle E and F are. So angles E and F. So what are angles E and F? Angles E and F are acute or complementary. And that means they are both acute. Actually, angles E and F. So that we know then that that means angles E and F are indeed acute, but that also means they are complementary. They are complementary angles. So we are going to, we already did right, so we got to make sure we cross out the right. And we are about to do complementary. So I'm going to cross that out and I'm going to write comp. So I'm going to put comp, but make sure that you put the whole word. So you need to have complementary. And it's on your slide so you can see how it's spelled there too. So we are down to the bottom. So how do we figure out angles B and angles F? So down here. So we already said what B is. We said angle B is 90 degrees, which is why it is a right triangle. And we did that math. And angle F is what degree? So like we said, these three are adjacent angles and they all should equal to 180 degrees as well because they are along this line and a line is 180 degrees. So angle E plus angle B will equal a certain amount. So we've got 90 degrees plus 55 degrees, which makes it 145 degrees, which means angle F is the leftover. So it would be 180 subtract 145 degrees, which leaves us with angle F being 35 degrees. And then our next question. So we've done those. Let's see. We are moving on to this one. So for number 4, we have similar questions, but a different layout here. So we're looking at first angles A, B, and C form A. So we are looking at angles A, B, and C, and we know that those three form a triangle because it is connected by those angles. By each endpoint of an angle is connected by another one in those three. So we are going to put in this blank triangle. An angle B is a or an blank angle. So that is blank. So angle B, we're looking at this, is a, what kind of angle is that? So angle B, we know, is an acute angle. So we have acute angle. That is supplementary to angle D. So we know this because angle B is acute. It is smaller than it is smaller than 90 degrees. So a 90 degree would form that square that we did over in the last one for that angle B. This angle B does not form that square, and you can clearly tell it is smaller than 90 degrees. So that is why it is acute, and we've done acute up here. We've done triangle. and it is supplementary. So we know that these two are going to equal to 180 because they are supplementary. And I'm just putting sup, but make sure you spell it all the way out. To angle D, which means that they have a sum of, and just like before, it is 180 degrees. So there are quite a few words in this word bank that we did not use, right? So we didn't use opposite. We did use supplementary. And I think we didn't use vertical or obtuse. So we know that an obtuse angle is any that is greater than 90 degrees. So this angle here would be obtuse. And we did talk about vertical before, which means that they are at opposite parts. And so they are the same exact one. So we talked about that before. They would be the same exact degrees. So what we're going to do is we are going to answer down here what angle A is. So we know because angle A is supplementary to angle E, and angle E is 102 degrees, that means they both add up to 180. So we are going to do 180, subtract 102, and that leaves us with 78 degrees. So next, we would take, and this 7 looks like a 1, so I'm going to make sure it looks like a 7. So now we're going to do angle B. So if we know, actually let's do angle C first, because then that will make finding out B possible. So we've got angle F right here and angle C. So just like angles A and E, they are also supplementary, which means they together equal 180 degrees. So we are going to do 180, subtract 34 or 134, and that, okay. So we know that C, because angle C is here and it is supplementary to 134 degrees, just like 102 was supplementary to angle A. So angle E and angle A, angle C and angle F, these are both supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. So we know that angle C would be 180 degrees, subtract 134, which would make our total for angle C 46 degrees. So we're going to write that in. And we know angle B now is going to be the sum of angle A and angle C and angle B will be 180 degrees. And we know angle A and angle C, so we just go backwards and we do 180, subtract 46 degrees, subtract 78 degrees, and your total then is 56 degrees. And then last is angle D. So because we know angle B now, we will know angle D, because these, just like the rest of them that we have been looking at, are supplementary and they equal together because they are on a straight line 180 degrees. So we do 180 degrees minus angle B, which is 56 degrees, and we get a total of 124 degrees, which is an obtuse angle greater than 90 degrees. So I'm going to give you guys a second to look through this, make sure you understand it, and then we will move on to the last part. So we are moving on. This is the last section. So this says create your own diagram and description. So this is just like these diagrams up here. It wants you to create your own and your own description. So describing them yourself, describing the angles yourself. And this just is a way for you to be creative. So I'll zoom in on that and give you the chance to do that. And then your very last part So this is on your own right here. I want you to do this on your own. There is a place to put an answer on your PowerPoint that you will be editing, and then summarize today's lesson. So make sure you're doing that in more than one sentence. It should be at least 3 sentences based off of what we've done today. It is a brief summary. They don't have to be long sentences, but make sure that you also do the summarizing today's lesson. So after all of this, all of those red little boxes should be filled in with the answers from today. Make sure if you need more time or you need to go back and review it, you go back through and you're able to get those answers. And then once you are finished, you can submit that PowerPoint as part of the assignment. So this is it for today's lesson, and I hope you guys have a great Thursday.